Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Happy Spoken Word Tuesday. I hope you guys do this coming along fine. You guys know on Tuesdays I like to bring the word, right? And you guys know I just done my 2 shorts earlier. And one of them was on the Jezebel Spirit. And the other was about us being in order, right? And I'm just going to first start off with those 2 shorts because I read 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3 KJV version. You know, and also I read 2 Kings chapter 9 verse 22 KJV version. Okay, so I can do it like this too. Let's just cover my head. All right. No, I don't want to do it like this. It's kind of hot. Okay. Oh my God, gotta do it proper, right? Okay. All right. So when I said my shorts earlier in regards to asking the kings and the queens, I was asking the kings to relieve themselves of that sensitive, weak mindset, and I was asking my queens to relieve herself of the Jezebel spirit, right? Because what do you guys know now? Like I said, we are in order. Everything is in order, right? I'm coming from the job. When you come from the jobs, your life, you know, your relationships, your finance, everything there's an order to everything. And if you follow that order, like it's the same thing. If you follow those instructions, then it will always be perfect, right? All right. So the first short I done was, like I said, asking to men to relieve that weak, sensitive mindset and asking my women to relieve that Jezebel spirit, because the man is the head of her and Christ is the head of God. I mean, and God is the head of Christ and Christ is the head of the man. And that was in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3 KJV version. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. So we see there's an order even to relationships, right? The head of Christ is God. So that's the whole foundation to start from God, right? The patriotic order, right? Then comes Christ. Then comes the man, then comes the woman, because woman is a derivative from the man, right? Because man is come before the W-O, which further confirms that we came from men. We are a derivative of men. We came from Adam's rib, right? Which makes us submissive to men, you know. Now in the natural order, in the biblical order, you know, because I personally like to try to be biblically fit, right? And I'm trying to help you guys become biblically fit so you can work in the order that will allow your life to transition smoothly, right? So, being like in order allows you, like I said, it allows your everything, all your aspects in life, you know, to run smoothly, okay? If a woman is not in order really, you know, and she want to be the control over everything and not allowing that man to be her head, then that is a Jezebel spirit. And that man himself has that weak, sensitive spirit because he allowing her to control him, right? That's that simp stuff, right? Because a real man is not going to let a woman control them. They're going to put that woman in her place and she going to know. And guess what? When he put her in her place, that's going to make her feel comfortable and secure because she going to know that, okay, he want to make sure he lead me right. He just pointed out what I did was an offense to him. He just want me to be a bigger and better person, right? He want me to be a better representation of myself because in all I'm representing him that walking on his shoulder, okay? So we have to keep it in our mind again that 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3 KJV version. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. In that order. And if we fall in that order, you'll be going through all the women that's trying to enhance themselves to make men look at them. You'll be going through all the women, you know, that's trying to buy men to make them be with them, right? But what it would be happening is you already would know your worth, right? Because if this world was in a natural order, then a man would be a man and not an effeminate man, and a woman would be a queen and not a Jezebel. But of course, the whole world is upside down. It's turned backwards, right? That's why the Father said 2/3 of the world is going to perish. Almost more than half of the world going down. Because even though they may be reading the Bible and call themselves following God and trying to be holding down, right? When it comes come and hit them, it's going to hit them because they're not doing it diligently, right? Remember, you know, you might do it in front of people, but are you doing it behind closed doors and faithfully seeking to defy it diligently? If you're not, that so-called thing you doing when you call yourself trying to go to church and read here and there and pay like you holy and thou, trust and believe me, when something hard, when all those things come to get hit, you're going to be a victim too. Because you're still following the vows of this world instead of separating yourself. So it don't matter that you're trying to take time to give Father a little bit of your time. Because remember, he already said in the New Testament, they're going to come and say, well, Father, I did this and do that. He going to say, I never knew you. The same thing. So all stuff you doing, he never knew you if you're not seeking him diligently, right? Follow order as well. And then also, I read 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 22, KJV version. And I talked about the Jezebel spirit, right? Like I said, Jezebel is synonymous with wickedness. Her name is said with wickedness and everything. Let me tell you how it works from Jezebel words in the Father's eye. The Father hated Jezebel because she came in and she seduced her husband Ahab. Ahab was like the king of Israel, right? He went and married Jezebel, who was the daughter of the Sidonians, right? These evil people, right? And when he married Jezebel, you know, she then took over and she introduced him to Baal, right? She called her own husband to go kill Nahor, the man that was protecting the inheritance for Israel, right? And because Nahor turned down Ahab for the field, because he told Ahab, you already know that this field is for the inheritance of Israel. But Ahab he was hurt by it, but he kind of went and laid back and let it go, right? But he wanted to tell his wife Jezebel, that wicked Jezebel, that Jezebel with so many witchcrafts, right? He wanted to go tell Jezebel how Nahor made him feel about not giving him that lot. The lot that was the inheritance for the children of Israel. So after he told his wife Jezebel concocted a plot like, we gonna take that. So this lady concocted a plot and had this man to go to court and had witnesses up there to lie against him. Lie, you know, like he had created a problem in Israel just so they can stone him to death to take his land. And that's what happened. So because of Jezebel concocted all this and convinced her husband by using all these witchcrafts, using her vagina to get what she wants, using all these spells to make things go her way, she caused Ahab to fall under her spell and have him killed under her spell. And he was a child of Israel who was holding the lot for the inheritance for the children of Israel, right? And that made God angry, like hate that lady, right? And to the fact, he made sure that when it was time for her to die, he let the dogs eat her flesh, right? She wasn't even worthy enough to get a grave, right? And the reason why she wasn't worthy enough to get a grave, because the Father didn't want her to be in remembrance. He didn't even want nobody to walk over her grave and say, this was Jezebel, right? And that is written. That's why he allowed Jezebel to get eaten by the dogs so she could be no more remembered of, but he also made her name symbolic to wickedness, okay? Now, let's read 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 22, KJV version. And it came to pass, when Joram saw Jehu, that he said, is it peace, Jehu? And he answered, what peace? So long as the whoredoms of thy mother Jezebel and her witchcrafts are so many. You see, Jezebel witchcrafts go long. It is international, nationwide, from nation to nation. A woman, many women, it's not everyone, but many women that those Jezebel spirits know how to get what they want. They know how to use their vagina to get what they want. They know how to break up happy homes. They know how to go make their face up to seduce somebody, right? It is witchcraft. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's witchcraft. Basically, witchcraft is make somebody believe something that's not. Bring the illusion in front of it before their eyes, and they believe it, but it's manipulation. It is witchcraft. So you guys have to relieve yourself, our queens, of that Jezebel spirit and get in order, okay? Our men need to get back in order and be the leading, because we need y'all to lead us, okay? All right. So also I'm going to read Revelation 2 verses 18 to 29, and this furthermore on Jezebel, right? That spirit, okay? Now, this chapter actually begins with 1 and ends at, let's see, verse 29, but for the sake of this lesson, I'm only going to read Revelation 2 verses 18 to 29 because I'm focusing on Jezebel, right? Now, also, This chapter 2 is really focusing on the churches, right? Revelation, throughout the Bible, Revelation chapter 2, and also chapter 1 and everything, basically Revelation, beginning of the chapter is focused on the churches, the 7 churches, right? That he's sending his judgments to, right? He letting the churches know what they did, what he's going to approve of, and what he's going to judge them of if they don't repent, right? So this particular church, the Father was talking about in chapter 2, right? Let's see. This is the church of Ephesus, Ephesus, right? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I remember that for. No, I'm sorry. This is the church. Ephesus that's the beginning of a church too. Because remember, Revelation 2, Revelation 1, they talk about the churches, right? And it goes out until they finish with all the churches. So this right here, we're going to start in, like I say, verse 8. That one, I went to verse 2, but verse 8, chapter 2, right? And this church, let's see, this church is the church of Smyrna. Right? So this is the Father talking to the church of Smyrna in Israel. Remember, there were 7 churches he came, to give, his expectations to, his judgments and everything, unless those churches repent, okay? And this particular church, Smyrna, Revelations chapter 2, verses 18 to 29, KJV version reads as follows. Verse 8. And unto the angel of the church of Smyrna, right? These things said the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And hold on, you guys. Okay. Forgive me. You see? 18. I went to 8. My goodness. I got all this stuff highlighted. I'm thrown off a little bit. Y'all see, okay? It is chapter 18 and 29. I went to 8. That was a whole other church. Remember, what I'm talking about the churches, but this church is specific what I'm talking about, okay? Not verse 8, but verse 18, okay? Okay, verse 18 of Revelation, okay? Chapter 2, KJV version. Let's start this again. 18. Now this was to the angel of Thyatira. The church. This is for the church of Thyatira, right? Okay, again, because in Revelations, right here, the beginning of Revelations, the Father is talking about all the judgments or the expectations that he's given to the churches because of all the wickedness and the vile things they've done in Israel if they don't repent. If they repent, then he will forgive them, okay? Okay, so verse 18 to the church of Thyatira. And unto the angel of the church in Thyatira write, these things said the Son of God, who had his eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet are like fine brass. I know thy works and charity and service and faith and thy patience and thy works, and the last to be more than the first. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and seduce my servants to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. And I will kill her children with death, and all the churches should know that I am he which searcheth the reins and hearts, and I will give unto every one of you according to your works. But unto you I say, and unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine, and which have not known the depths of Satan, as they speak, I will put upon you none of the burden, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. He that had an ear, let him hear what the Spirit unto the churches. Let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. Right? So you guys see, verse 18 to 29. is focusing on Jezebel, right? So verse 18 through seduce my service through 20, 21, behold, 22, 23. Okay, so 18 through 23, right, folks, is strictly on Jezebel and how he's telling you guys, you know, how she seduced the servants of her to commit fornication, how she seduced them, you know, to eat things that sacrifice out of idols and stuff, right? How she suffers them to think that she's a prophet when she's not, when she is the devil, okay? That's a Jezebel spirit, and so many of us operate in that Jezebel spirit, okay? So the Father is saying, right, he's going to kill her children, what she's doing, right? You know, because her children go around searching the reins of the hearts of the children, seducing them and everything. And he also gave her space to repent, and she repented not, right? So he's giving us space to repent. All these Jezebel spirits, the Father is giving you space to repent. Go repent. Most of them repent not. And because of that, he's going to come and he's going to cast a scorn against her, okay? So he said, behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into a great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds, right? So if you guys don't repent, he's telling y'all he's gonna cast you guys into a bed with them that commit adultery, you know, and put you guys to great tribulation if you want to keep up with that Jezebel spirit, right? So repent of Jezebel spirit, lose that Jezebel spirit, because it's very serious, okay? And it is taking over to the point where Jezebel is taking over our bodies, our mind, our soul, everything. That Jezebel spirit making us do everything to our body, you know, making us get crazy, making us become, you know, rebellious, making us become reprobate. That's that Jezebel spirit, whether you want to know it or not, because that Jezebel spirit is contrary to the Father. Anything contrary to the Father can cause you to become reprobate, okay? Or to cause you to have a reprobate mind. All right. And from verses 24 through 29, you know, he's just saying, you know, that church, because this church Thyatira is what Jezebel was at, basically, right? So he's just saying, you know, to the church of Thyatira, you know, this doctrine that Thyatira again is the depths of Satan, okay? So you know, he said whatever depths you guys put on you, he gonna let it be. He ain't gonna put no more burdens on you because you already got all these burdens of Satan upon you, right? And he gonna let them stay on you until he come back, okay? Right? But he also said that him that overcometh and keeping his words, you know, he will give them the power over the nation. So those who diligently seeking the Father, there's a righteous government coming along. What you guys got to realize, and those people right now who doing a restoration and gathering, be a part of that righteous government, okay? And that's what it's referred to when he said, and he that overcometh and keeping my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter. They shall be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. Because that word of the word, going to be so strong until it's going to break the vessels of potters into like shivers, right? Even as Christ received his Father, if you know, those who righteousness seeking him diligently and repenting and following the ways to try, you know, to try to get this righteous government, that foundation built. The people who's building this foundation of the righteous government are going to be a part of the righteous government. The people who are out here trying to do the gathering and restoration, trying to teach you guys to get back to the Bible, to teach you guys to follow the laws, those are going to be people he used, going to be a part of the righteous government, who is going to be ruling nations with their strong rod, because their rod is going to be the word. And it's going to cut them deeply, because we're not going. When it's time, it's time. When it comes to use that sword to put y'all in place, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to break them like potters and glass, like in shivers. Just Christ said, it's like he received of his Father. It's coming. And he prepared them there. So that's why it's our job to get you guys back to the laws and commandments, right? Okay, and he said he will also give him a morning star, right? A morning star. So bright and everything, to be the brightness of all. That person, right, who is seeking him diligently, who is repenting, following laws and commandments. That person who's going to be ruling over the nations and breaking down people with their sword, breaking them like positive shivers, right? Breaking them down hard with the sword of the word. That person, the Father is going to give a morning star to be the bright in the glory of Israel, right? And he says in the last final thing of that verse 29, he that had an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. Okay? Churches, The churches can be us. Listen to what the Spirit say. Listen to what the Spirit say so it can guide you down the right path, so you won't be a part of those 66%, those 2/3 of the world that's going to perish due to a lack of knowledge and not following the laws and commandments. And you know we're not perfect, but if you attempt to practice and to read, it will teach you. You will learn if you seek humility, and you will learn how to walk through life smoothly. You will learn how to walk through life in order, relieving that Jezebel spirit, relieving that weak, feminine spirit, you know, but becoming strong in the word, right? So you can be that person that can rule nations and break them like the potters, you know, and also be a morning star, you know, and everything, right? Why not have all that? All right. He didn't have an ear. Let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. All right, you guys. I hope this word was a benefit to you guys. I hope it brought some understanding, you know, to my females who practice that Jezebel spirit, and to my men who practice that weak feminine spirit. Y'all get it? Go ahead and get back in order, because you're going to get left behind. Get in order. You think all these things taking place? Come on now, I come out of the blue. Just like the Messiah came out of the blue when the Pharisees described and say, oh no, that's the son of Joseph and Mary. We know him. He can't be no prophet. But he was. Because even though he was in flesh and blood, he was following the laws, and the Father was building him to come and take over. Even though they see him in flesh as a king, he was being prepared. Just like we all are being prepared. So even though you see me as Heidi's daughter and Victor Johnson's daughter, trust me, the Father's preparing me to be one of those to help restore and gather Israel. Okay? So believe what you want to believe, but I've been charged to do this. In the name of Messiah, at your will, Father. All praises to the Most High. All right, you guys, enjoy your Tuesday. Love y'all.